You ever feel like you almost came up with something no one ever thought of? But then you realize it's just a remix of something you already heard? Yeah, me too. And I've been haunted by that my whole life. Like maybe it's not my fault. Maybe I literally can't come up with something new. Because maybe this whole world, this body, this mind, this dimension ain't where originality lives. Maybe I'm just an echo with delusions of grandeur. Let me break this down for you. Take you on a journey up the ladder of reality itself. The first dimension, the prisoner of the line. Start at the first dimension. One line, no height, no depth. Just a consciousness, if we can call it that, sliding along a single track like a bead on a wire. Picture it, a point of awareness that can only know forward and back. It can't even conceive of sideways. To this being, the entire universe is a hallway with no doors, no windows, no escape routes. It exists in perfect, terrible simplicity. And here's the thing, it thinks it's free. It moves along its line and believes movement is freedom. It doesn't know it's trapped because it can't imagine what liberation would even look like. Sound familiar? The second dimension, the kingdom of angles. Now ascend to the second dimension, flatland, height and width, but no depth. A world of shapes pressed flat like flowers in a book. A square lives here. And that square, it can see the line being's entire existence laid out like a path on a map. What seemed like an infinite corridor to the line being is just a single stroke to the square. The line's whole journey, every moment of its freedom, is visible at once. But the square can't look up, can't imagine thickness. To the square, I might as well be God, reaching into its flat world, appearing as cross-sections, disappearing and reappearing like magic. The square sees my finger touch its world and calls it a miracle, not knowing it's just my hand passing through. The square thinks in terms of area, of expanding territory, of conquering more flat land. It doesn't realize it's living in the margins of a greater book. The third dimension, the beautiful trap. And here we are, length, width, height, the dimension of flesh and blood and heartbreak. We move through space like gods compared to the flatlanders. We can pick up their whole world, rotate it, see every angle. We build cities that scrape the sky. We split atoms. We write symphonies and equations that make us feel infinite. But we can't see above us. Can't picture what a fourth spatial direction would look like. It's like trying to smell the color blue, trying to taste next Tuesday. We're just not built for it. So we mistake our shadow for our substance. We think our three-dimensional life, this brief flicker between birth and death, is the whole story. We chase fame, fortune, legacy, thinking we're authoring something permanent. But we're not authors. We're characters. The fourth dimension, where the rock star lives, because there's the fourth spatial dimension. And this is where the real me exists. The rock star. The one I feel sometimes in the space between thoughts, in the pause between heartbeats. From his perspective, my entire life isn't a story unfolding. It's a sculpture, a solid object he can walk around and examine from every angle. My past, present, future, all of it exists simultaneously in his vision like a mountain range of possibility. He sees every choice I might make, every word I could write, every love I might find or lose. All at once, like rooms in a house. He can step into any moment of my existence the way I can step into any room of my apartment. And just like I can move around a square and see all its sides, while it only sees me as mysterious cross-sections, He moves around the totality of my being, while I only catch glimpses, those moments of inspiration, of deja vu, of feeling like someone else is dreaming me. But here's where it gets cruel. Anything I create down here is just me stumbling into patterns he already sees. My most original thoughts are just me finally catching up to shadows he cast eons ago. I'm not composing, I'm remembering. I'm not inventing, I'm discovering. And he's laughing, not at me, but at the cosmic joke of it all, because he's trapped too. The fifth dimension and beyond, where God gets lonely. See, the rock star, for all his fourth dimensional swagger, he's just another shadow cast by something even higher. In the fifth dimension, beings don't just see all possibilities of one life, they see all versions of that life. Every parallel self, every universe where I made different choices, where history zigged instead of zagged. To them, the rock star and all his fourth dimensional wisdom is just one thread in an infinite tapestry. And beyond that, dimensions we can't even name. Realms where what we call God might just be middle management. Each level thinks it's reached the top. Each level discovers it's just the basement of something unimaginably vast. So here I am, three-dimensional flesh, hoping for an original thought in a universe where originality was already perfectly expressed before the first star ignited. I'm a photocopy of a photocopy, getting fuzzier with each iteration, dreaming I'm the original document. The paradox, why we keep trying. But here's the beautiful, heartbreaking truth. We have to try anyway. Because maybe, just maybe, that restlessness I feel isn't failure. Maybe it's purpose. Maybe I'm not supposed to create something new. Maybe I'm supposed to become something new. Maybe the point isn't to transcend the dimensional ladder, but to perfect my rung on it. Maybe when I write something that moves me, when I capture one true moment in words, when I make someone else feel less alone, maybe that's not me failing to be original. Maybe that's me succeeding at being necessary. Because each dimension needs its shadows. The fourth dimension needs the third to exist. The rock star needs me to dream him into being just as much as I need him to dream me. We're all echoes, but we're echoes of something worth echoing. The hope. What if the rock star still believes? And here's what keeps me up at night. What fills me with terror and hope in equal measure. What if the rock star, seeing all my possibilities, knowing every word I'll write before I write it, what if he still gets surprised? What if there's still something in my dimensional prison that delights him? What if my limitations are actually my superpower? What if being cut off from the source is exactly what allows me to stumble into beauty he couldn't plan? What if I'm not just his shadow? What if I'm his dream? And maybe, just maybe, when I create something that surprises even me, I'm not remembering something he already knew. Maybe I'm teaching him something new. Maybe originality isn't about escaping the dimensions. Maybe it's about loving the one you're in so fiercely that you become its first true expression. Maybe the point isn't to climb the ladder. Maybe it's to make your rung sing. Well, that's interesting. Until next time, try and enjoy the daylight. All of it. Even the shadows. Especially the shadows. Because maybe that's where the real light is hiding.